On a woman's right to choose, Circuit Judge Ludig, in the case of Richmond Medical Center, said that Casey versus Planned Parenthood was super stare decisis. Do you agree with Judge Ludig?
I don't use the word super. I don't know how to take that word. All precedent of the court is entitled to the respect of the doctrine of stare decisis.
Do you think that Roe versus Wade has added weight on stare decisis to protect a woman's right to choose by virtue of Casey versus Planned Parenthood, as Judge Ludig said?
That is one of the factors that I believe courts have used to consider the issue of whether or not a new direction should be taken in the law. There is a variety of different factors the court uses, not just one.
But that is one which would give it extra weight. How about the fact that the Supreme Court of the United States has had 38 cases after Roe versus Wade where it could have reversed Roe versus Wade? Would that add weight to the impact of Roe versus Wade on stare decisis to guarantee a woman's right to choose?
The history of a particular holding of the court and how the court has dealt with it in subsequent cases would be among one of the factors, as many, that a court would likely consider. Each situation, however, is considered in a variety of different viewpoints and arguments, but most importantly, factors that the court applies to this question of should precedents be altered in a way.
Well, wouldn't 38 cases lend a little extra support to the impact of Roe and Casey, where the court had the issue before, could have overruled it?
In
just
Casey
a little
itself,
extra impact?
Casey itself applied, or by an opinion authored by Justice Souter, talked about the factors that a court thinks about in whether to change precedent. And among them were issues of whether or not or how much reliance society has placed in the prior precedent, what are the costs that would be occasioned by changing it, was the rule workable or not, have the either factual or doctrinal basis of the prior precedent altered either from developments in related areas of law or not to counsel a re-examination of a question.
I'm going to move on. Go ahead.
And the court has considered, in other cases, the number of times the issue has arisen and what actions the court has or not taken with respect to that. Roe, Casey did reaffirm the core holding of Roe, and so my understanding would be that the issue would be addressed in light of Casey on the stare decisis.
Do I hear you saying it would be at least a little bit of extra? Let me move on. Let me move on to another.
But let me ask you on another topic. There was a Washington Post story on May the 29th, 2009, where that starts out saying the White House scrambled yesterday to assuage worries from liberal groups about Judge Sotomayor's scant record on abortion rights. And White House goes on to say, White House press secretary said the president did not ask Sotomayor specifically about abortion rights during their interview. Is that correct?
Yes, it is absolutely correct. I was asked no question by anyone, including the president, about my views on any specific legal issue.
Do you know then on what basis, if that's the case, and I accept your statement, on what basis that the White House officials would subsequently send a message that abortion rights groups do not need to worry about how you might rule in a challenge to Roe versus Wade?
No, sir, because you just have to look at my record to know that in the cases that I addressed on all issues, I follow the law.
On what basis would George Pavia, who was apparently a senior partner in the law firm that hired you as a corporate litigator, on what basis would he say that he thinks support of abortion rights would be in line with your generally liberal instincts? He's quoted in this article saying, quote, "I can guarantee she'll be for abortion rights," close quote. On what basis would Mr. Pavia say that, if you know?
I have no idea, since I know for a fact I never spoke to him about my views on abortion, frankly, on my views on any social issue. George was the head partner of my firm, but our contact was not on a daily basis. I have no idea why he's drawing that conclusion, because if he looked at my record, I have ruled according to the law in all cases addressed to the issue of the termination of abortion rights, of women's right to terminate their pregnancy, and I voted in cases in which I've upheld the application of the Mexico City policy, which was a policy in which the government was not funding certain abortion related activities.
Do you agree with his statement that you have generally liberal instincts?
If he was